So, hi everybody. This is the Starfish Academy Moneylogy show, as always on Tuesdays with you, and me and Vala are here today again to share with you our thoughts about financial literacy, investing, entrepreneurship, all things which can be helpful for you to achieve your financial freedom. So, hi everyone. Hi Vala.
Hi, greetings everybody.
As always, we have a topic prepared for you, and also we have a Starfish Vocabulary part where we're going to present you some new term related to finance, and of course we are waiting for your questions, which we're going to answer in the end of the show if you have one. As well, if you want to suggest some topics for us for the future shows, you can do it also at the same place in the comments below, and we will be more than happy to include these topics in our further shows. So today's topic we would like to discuss is return on investment. At least me, when we teach people financial literacy and we use a game, cash flow game created by Robert Kiyosaki, I always hear people asking me when they look to the deals card, what does it mean, these three letters, ROE? So this is the topic about and how to calculate this. Is it possible to get it higher? This is the things we're going to talk today with you. So Vala, what is your thoughts about it? ROE, is it important in the area of investing, and what does it mean? What does it mean, these three letters?
Yeah, I think it's one of the key metrics which actually will tell you if it's a good investment or not. And if it's higher, then it's better than the one which is lower. So actually there's no limit how high it can go, but basically it tells you how quickly will you get your money back.
Exactly.
So just to give an example, if it's let's say ROI is 100%, it means that the money you put in, you got back in 1 year. So, and if it goes higher, then it comes even faster. So it's a good metrics to see how long time it takes to get your initial investment back.
And one important thing which you mentioned is that it measures how long it will take to get your money back. So it means that you need to calculate it from the money you invest to the deal, not the full amount of the deal. At least I see quite a lot of people doing these mistakes. Let's say they have a price for real estate deal, and they calculate return on investment from the price of the deal in total, but not from the money they put to the deal, which can show totally different numbers then. Because if you use a leverage like a loan from the bank, your money can be much lower amount than the total price you pay, and then return on investment goes higher. Is it true?
Yeah, exactly. And it's quite the opposite, because there's a lot of people out there who are afraid to use the loan, or they try to use as low ratio of loan as possible. But if you know how to calculate ROI, then the higher rate of loan you're using, the higher debt you're using, the higher your ROI. So actually it's a good way to leverage and actually earn more from your own investment.
Yeah, but of course also leverage also are connected with a risk. Yeah, so basically, what are your thoughts how people can get the higher return on investment, but at the same time stay with a low risk?
Well, actually, most of the people use the loan against them. They use it to buy them liabilities or buy your new car or something like that. Exactly. But if you know what you're doing, if you use it as an asset, then actually it can help you bring the money in. So basically, the advantage of the loan is also that it's a debt, it's a tax-free money, and is also another maybe topic for the next shows. But it can be a really good thing to leverage your investments.
Yeah, and also if you have a higher financial IQ, it means that you can control the risk which you have in the deal always. And debt is also the way you need to control. So you need to calculate, is it good for you to take this debt, and what is the maximum amount of debt you can handle in order not to get too high risk. Because if, let's say, your rental payments goes down and you are not able to pay out the loan payment, covering by your rental income, it can become additional risk for you, because you need to put your money additionally, or bank, let's say, can ask you to pay out a significant part of a loan because the price of a property went down. So you need to control these things together always. Yeah,
exactly. You have to also calculate that if the real estate price may also go down. There's a lot of people who think that real estate always goes up, but it actually can come down. And when it comes down, it can go lower than your initial investment was, and then bank may start asking you back. So you have to be really careful also when you use this leverage, and sometimes using too much leverage also causes you too much stress, so you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, and we could see a lot of people doing so in the previous crisis in 2008, when everybody was thinking that the price of real estate is going only up, and up, and then basically when it went down, a lot of people lost their objects, real estate, because we had too much loan, and the return on investment which we calculated was totally different from the one we had in this case.
Yeah, and I think real estate, I think real estate also is a good way, because this is the probably best asset class where bank will give you the loan, and that's why the real estate investments ROI are quite often much higher than with the paper assets, because banks don't loan you money for the paper assets.
Exactly. But return on investment is the thing which is calculated also in other asset classes. Yes, like you mentioned, paper assets, and in business also everyone calculates the return on investment, because when you start a business, you invest some money to the business, maybe even not only money but some additional resources, and you also calculate the return on it. So the question is it possible to get the infinite return? How do you think? Because quite usually people talk about it, but probably not everyone understands what does it mean to have infinite return from the deal, from your investment, from your business, or whatever other asset classes.
Yeah, I think it's not only possible, but it actually could be a goal. Maybe you don't get the infinite return immediately, but one of easy example would be if you put the money in the real estate, you increase the value of the real estate within the next few years, you refinance the loan, and you get your initial investment back, which means that you have no money in the deal. Then basically your return on investment becomes infinite. So it could be one of the key strategies actually for most of the real estate investors to get all their money back, and then just have the cash flow from the investment.
Yeah, and it's really important point you mentioned, because some asset classes are more friendly, let's say, to get infinite return, and other asset classes are not even, there is no even possibility to get infinite return, because you need always to have the money in the deal and you can't take it out. So real estate, which you mentioned, is one of the probably best choices in this case, because there are a lot of ways how you can take your money from the deal and still have the investment which produce you additional cash flow.
Yeah, and if you think about, let's say, stocks or bonds, what most of the people are investing in, they're usually expecting like 5%, 10% return, and that's pretty much like in a good level. But with real estate, I mean, some of the investors won't even take the deal if it's less than 20%. So it's a different mindset. It's a different possibilities with real estate, because the banks are willing to give you leverage and loan with that. So
exactly. So eventually what we are talking about, everything still comes to one point where everything starts. So it's if you want to get the higher return on investment, if you want to get the infinite return, you need to have a higher financial IQ or financial literacy. And this is exactly the term we would like to present for our audience today. What does it mean, financial literacy? Shortly saying is this is the ability to understand and efficiently use all of the financial skills you have, including a personal finance management, budgeting, and also creating the business and investing. So as soon as your financial literacy goes up, there are a lot of different ways how you can get the higher return on investment with lower risk, controlling the risk, and also eventually have infinite return. So Vala, what are your thoughts about financial literacy? How people could basically start getting more and more knowledge in this field?
Yeah, I mean, simply put it, I think financial literacy is basically the language of money. And the challenge with that is that nobody taught you in school. So if you're not personally interested in that, or you didn't find your own ways how to learn it, then most of the people will never learn this language of money. And it's very different. I mean, it's as different as learning a language of English or Russian or Mandarin. So we can be from the same country, but we can speak totally different language, because one person speaks language of money and the other doesn't. So it really takes like a separate decision to start learning it. And the good thing is about it is that it's actually not so hard. You can learn the basics actually pretty fast. and as you go, you gain more knowledge, and as with any language, you get the details and specifics as you continue learning it. But just getting the basics will already change the mindset of so many people, how they see what is an investment, and how they should treat their money on a daily basis.
And this is actually one of the reasons why we have this Starfish Vocabulary part in the Moneylogy show, because we want to teach you financial literacy terms, or like Vala said, money language. And the funny thing is with money language, what I see also, that if you learn, let's say, English or whatever, Russian language, you just learn the language and you already know how to speak. With money language, there is always something to learn, because the money language changes, evolves. There are new terms which hasn't been there before, like for example P2P, which hasn't been in the investment world like 10 years ago. Now it's one of ways to invest your money also. And if you are not focusing on learning always new language terms, new language words, it can be difficult for you to compete with others who do so. So this is probably one of the steps which can and need to be done repeatedly and constantly.
Yeah, and I think also that, like every language, it consists of different words. And if you understand the meaning of the word, you will start to see a different world. So it's really, really powerful. If I'm just, giving one example, so assets and liabilities. If you know that assets put money in your pocket and liabilities take money from your pocket, it like sounds so easy, but if you understand it, you will see a different picture. You will see your financial statement differently. You will make different decisions in your life. You are, starting to, look for different things, and it's only the understanding of one word. So it's really, really powerful as you learn different, vocabulary of the money.
And it drastically changes your mindset first.
Yes.
Because when your mindset, your context expands, you can basically change the actions which you do also. So those who watch our show, just remember these words and try to understand them deeply, really understand what does it mean for you and what these first steps could be in order to increase your financial literacy, and then basically focus on those asset classes which can produce the return you would like to have with the risk which you would like to have. In further shows we will be covering more and more topics like this, and of course deeper stuff and deeper terms as well. But also, as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, we are happy to get your questions and your suggestions what these topics should be. And I see one question already today from Andrews. Let me just switch to our main screen. And Andrews asks, hello guys, could you please tell me and others the most popular budget planning tools? Thank you. So what are your thoughts, follow the budget planning tools? What tools do you use, for example?
Yeah, there are different ways. What I'm doing is that I'm just using for some of my basic daily stuff, I'm just using the bank that I'm using. So let's say if I'm using a Revolut or using some commercial bank, most of them already have their income and expense calculators, so you can get a quick picture there. But what I'm also doing is that I have my own personal financial statement that I'm reviewing on a regular basis, because it also contains assets and liabilities, and I can see also the cash flow. So if you're using some tool from the bank, then it only has part of the picture, and that's why I need to do my part and add the other statements there, so I can get full picture of my finances. How about yours?
Yeah, I would say that financial statement, which is also the sheet we use in the cash flow game created by Robert Kiyosaki, is one of the easiest ways to plan your budget, at least in the big picture level. If you want to have like some more detailed stuff, there are different options, and because Andrews asks what is the most popular, I would say that the most popular is probably Excel, because this is the easiest software where people can put it the way we would like to have, and just having it in Excel or Google Sheet, filling in monthly or weekly, and this is the way how we can do it. At least we do the same in our family. We just have Excel, which is already evolved in some form of budgeting in last probably more than 10 years when we were using it. And this is our daily planning tool. But when we want to have a big picture and understanding how we do well financially in general, then income statement and balance sheet from the game is the one we use, just in electronic version in Excel. So
yeah, I think there are definitely different apps out there, but I think the key is that you personally understand the financial statement, and then you can use additional tools maybe to help with some parts of the budgeting, but still you have to do the work, and that's why the Excel sheet or the game sheet that Joris was explaining is probably the best tool you can have.
Exactly. So thank you, Andrews, for questions. If someone also have other questions, just feel free to write them in the comments below, like Andrews did, and we will be more than happy to answer them. If you want to look to our previous shows, by the way, if you didn't see it, you can do it on our Facebook page, Starfish Academy, or also you can go to Starfish Academy YouTube channel, and also you can find the same shows in the Instagram TV, also on Starfish Academy Instagram account. So these three ways are for you if you want to watch the recordings, but also to participate in Facebook show live. It's also additional benefits, because only here you can ask questions right away directly and get an answers ASAP. So just use this time and we will be able to answer your questions. We have a few more minutes, so if somebody have the questions, because I see that there are more people watching the show, just spend your time wisely and write the questions which we can ask.
Yeah, maybe just to add also is that, as we mentioned before, is that this is the stuff that you couldn't learn in school. So what I recommend you to use this, weekly show as your school of money, because it's for free, and you will teach the vocabulary, and you will start to see a different picture. So just commit this, half an hour each week, and I'm sure your financial intelligence will be higher.
Exactly. And why we do so? Because our mission in Starfish Academy and our personal mission with Valo is to help people to achieve financial freedom through business or investing while living a harmonious life. So this is our core goal we want to achieve, we want to help you to achieve, and that's why we do the shows for free, and it's exactly to help you to do these steps, what we did, and which you can do also as well, with all the ideas which we can give to you. But like Vala said also, if you have some specific questions or specific topics and want to ask us, just write it in the comments. It will be really helpful for us, because then we can fine-tune our shows in the future in order to touch these topics which are really important for you. So just use this possibility and write the comments. So a few more minutes for you to write the comments. If you have questions or just suggestions for the future shows, do it now. If no, then we will be going to the end with this show. And the next week, same time, Tuesday, you can watch a new show again on Facebook Live, or the recordings on 3 channels which I mentioned already: YouTube, Instagram, or our Facebook page.
And you can put the comments even if you watch the recording, because we will read each one of them and we can get some ideas for the next show.
Exactly. And if you feel that these shows are really valuable for you, feel free to share them on your timelines. Also, tag your friends in the comments below. It will be also a sign for us that this is important for you, that it brings value to you. And again, it's more inspiration for us to do it in the future, more and more, and with high quality. So just give us a sign that it's worth doing and it's valuable for you. Okay, as I see, there are no comments today no questions in the comments today. So we can basically come to the end of the show, and thank you all of those who watch the show live, and also those who watch the recording. Even if you feel that some things which we talked about in the show, which is recorded, are really important for you, just give us your reactions with likes or comments, and we can also see then which show is most valuable for you and which was not so valuable. So in the future, these shows would be more and more valuable and more and more helpful for you. So thank you for this show, and we're gonna meet you the same time, same day, as always, next week. Thank you, Valo, for being here with me.
Thanks everybody for watching. See you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.